Alright, I've just dragged this from the depths of my computer. This is a design I made, quite a few years ago. I have made it subsequently and given away on Crafty So-and-so's as a prize to a couple of people. Sent one to a mate in Australia. Exactly before I But before we even start, this is going to be a basis for our pencil case. But before we even start, I just want to show you something else that you may not know about Hatch or Digitizer 5.5. Down here you've got design notifications. Now if I bring that over, this is something that I do fairly frequently when I'm digitizing, just to remind myself that in a few years time what I actually did. So here, as you can see, it's my EMB file, my original file. It's in my folder there. That's what I called it. It's a pencil case. It's made by me. And in the comments, can you see step 1 zipper, step 2 7x7 front and liner, SF101 the front, keep liner taped up. I write my notes here so that if I am come to it in a complete fog and I want to make it again, I got my notes, my comments, and you will have this on Hatch, that you have, this design information. It gives you more things. You can go on and say, well, how many threads is that, how many thread colours and what have you, and the stitching, you're using this and you're going to, whatever. But the design summary, basically, you write yourself. If it's your own file, you've digitized it, you've done it, you can write your own design file so that you can always go back to your original file and see what the hell you did. Anyway, we're going to I'm going to get rid of that now. We're going to kind of base it on this. I will just switch from metric to US so I can see. Okay, so that's 3. So it's going to fit in a 6x3. Yeah. Ooh. I don't know. I'll go have a look at it. It's going to fit in an 8x8 inch hoop, I would think. I wanted to get it into a 5x7, but I don't. It's not going to work, is it? Because it is. I have done this one, which is a really nice size. I have done this one 6 inches wide. So let's start there, right? And okay, now we're going to move on. I am going to say, I will refer back to this, but I am going to say no, right? Alright, I want to try and make this in a 5x7 inch hoop. So first off, I'm going to put a hoop up, which is probably come up with my 4 inch hoop, so that's no good. I can come down to my RE18, which is, I just moved that out so you can see it, which basically is a 5x7 inch hoop. So that's great. I want to draw a rectangle now to make this pencil case. Loads of ideas what I want to do, but let's start off now and hopefully make something decent. So I want to digitize a rectangle. Going on there, rectangle, square. Oh, I know why, because I should have drawn it out in this fashion. Hang on a minute, where did I start? There, so I one peg. Right, so there's my rectangle. Phew. Now, first off, I'll go and collect it over here and say, well, I want an outline, if you don't mind, on the single run. That's fine by me. Right, now I got it. Now I'm highlighting it again and I'm saying, well, how big is that? Well, I want it 5. Hit enter. Not quite 7, but 5 by not quite 7. That will do me. I'm happy with that. So I'll go over here and I am going to lock that so it is always going to stay where I just put it. That's my outside line. Maybe I should have locked it. We'll see now, because I don't want it to be square on the top edges, but I do want it to be square on the bottom edges. I mean, it's your personal choice. But if you want to know how to now round a rectangle, well, pick it up. Didn't unlock it actually. Unlock it. Pick it up, and then go to reshape. Now you obviously going to start there and end there. That's what the red cross is the end, and the green triangle is the start. Okay, so I am just going to move. Oh, it won't let me reshape. I am just. Oh, leave that where it is. You know, it's happened to go in it, right? It'll come back to me in a minute. So now I got a square there, which I want to make a round. But if you want to make a round, you need to put in a square before the round and a square after the round. So I'm going to say, well, let's put in a square there. Yeah, I put a nodule. I'm in reshape, so this is how you can do it. So just click and do it. So I put a square there and a square there. Okay, I am going to do the same the other end. I'm going to say, well, I'm going to put in a square, forget everything else that's going on, square there and a square there. There I am, done. Now, I'm going to highlight that square, hit my space bar, and can you see now it's made that nodule into a curve by hitting the space bar. I've changed it, so now I can bring that forward. I'll do the same over here, hit the space bar, changes it, bring it in. Yeah, I think I'm more or less in the same place. And now I can, I don't know why I got another square, but I can bring my start and stop back over each other, and I'm going to hit save and say, Leroy design is got to be pencil case, yeah. And I am going to do design one, pencil one, yeah, as an EMB file, and save it, because this is what I'm working on. So you can see how I've now made my rectangle have curved edges. Saved, right? Having got the rectangle of the pencil case done now with the rounded corners, I'm going to go up here and turn my hoop off because it's annoying me at the moment, to be honest. Now, we want to come down, we want a little bit of space before we set our zip. So over here, I am going to just click on my 2-inch mark on my ruler. If you want to put your rulers up, there's a symbol over here, you see, saying rulers, to show you where to put the rulers up. And I'm also going to hit my 1-inch mark underneath it. So now those are two guidelines that have come across that are 1 inch apart. So I'll go into Digitize, open shape. It's just a single run, and actually, I'm going to keep it in red because it may as well sew this all down at the same time. And I'm going to click on there, hit shift to keep it more or less straight, click the other side and enter, and exactly the same for the bottom. Click, hit shift and click the other side and hit enter. So now I've got, the first thing that's going to happen when we lay in our hoop is on the no-show mesh, it's going to go and sew out the outline and those two parallel lines, which is where you're going to lay, they're 1 inch apart, and that shows you where you're going to lay inside you're going to lay across with your zip opener and your zip ending outside of the red lines. But so you're just going to lay your zip across there, and the very next thing we need to do now is to make some guidelines and some lines to hold the zip in place. The first thing that goes down is the zip. So in the same way, I'm going to come down and I'm going to say, well, if I put a guideline there and a guideline 1/4 of an inch up there, oops, on my ruler. Now I put myself up 2 more guidelines, can you see? And they should be, I'm just checking with mine, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4 is 1/2 inch, so that should be right. Although it looks a bit strange, I don't know why, but that should be correct. So again, digitize open shape. This time I want to change the colour to navy blue. Although, no, let's do a lighter colour. Let's do a lighter colour. Well, you will pick the colour, whatever colour is going to go with your zip. And again, from this edge, all the way over to that edge, holding shift and hitting enter, we're now putting in that guideline. Alright, so that is going to sew down your zip. So when you've led your zip between the 2 red lines, the next thing is you might want to tape it one end and the other end to hold it nice and still, and then you're going to sew these blue lines which are going to fasten your zip down onto the background interfacing. So having put these 2 blue lines across to hold down the zip, the next thing that I want you to do, and I want them to be a bit longer, I want them to come across the fabric a bit more, but using those guidelines again, go to Digitize, go to Digitize open shape, so it's a line, again stitch, still single run stitch, and we'll, on where the blue lines are, we will just start, hold shift, and make them extend across and hit enter, okay, and again with the other blue one, blue one, we'll just make them a bit longer, okay, right, and I'm going to tape those up and colour them in green. Alright, so you can see here now on the sides, they're a bit longer, yeah. Now we're at the stage where we're ready to start embroidering our pouch. Because believe it or not, when you get to this stage, you will have your front fabric at the top and your front fabric at the bottom. I'll explain all that to you later when we come to sew it out, but once we get to this stage of stitching, it's going to be there. So now we've got to think about what we're going to use as our embroidery to designate this as a pencil case and do whatever else we wish to do with it. To do the embroidery work, we've saved pencil case 1 now. Leave it on the screen, but we're going to go new, okay, which is just going to open up a new design. I do my extra artwork in a new design and then I'll bring it into my original when I'm happy with it. I found some of the artwork that I want to use. I don't know what yet, but let me see. This is for a little girl. There's got to be things that she recognises, and things that it's easy for us to be able to represent. So I think we might go with definitely a sharpener. Let's start with that. So I brought that sharpener, that's far too big obviously, but I brought that sharpener in and I'm going to resize it. I do not want it to be that big. I just want it to be probably 1.5 inches wide. Yeah, that's brought it down much smaller. Let's work on that. No, do you know what? A true size of a pencil sharpener, it's more like 1 inch, isn't it? So I brought it down even smaller. Now I'm going to bring it up. It doesn't matter where it is on my this working. I'm bringing it up really big, but it's only 1 inch by less than 2 inches long now. So again, now we can go to Digitize, and we can digitize. Let's do the bits in the middle first, and I'll show you how we get around it. So circle oval in yellow. I'm just going to go along with the colours that are here, right? So starting in the middle, I'm just going to bring out more or less that circle and hit enter twice. Okay, I'm not worried about what stitch is in for a minute. The next thing I want to do is on pure white. So I'm changing to white now, and I'm going to do close shape. Can you see that from, I'm just going to follow it around now, fill, okay, follow and put a curve in there, and straight in there. You can make this as big as you like. Oh, and you can see I didn't, now I've made it bigger, I can see I didn't actually get to the edge, did I? And I should be able to come all the way down, if it's nice and straight, all the way down to there, straight one, and I only want to go to there, and then go ooh, all the way back up to the top to meet up with that. I'm going to just stop it just before and then hit enter. So that's, I know it's all in a funny stitch at the moment, but we'll come back to that, right? Then the next thing I want to do, in a slightly more grey tone, alright, is again digitize close shape, okay, and bring it up nice and big. And this is in a bit of a more grey white. I mean, you have to look at the threads that you own to see what you know what's possible with this. But we do it the way I'm doing it and sort that lot out when you're actually sat at your sewing machine. Oh, come on, down and across, and then I am just going to go slightly over my original stitch line. This is to take into account pull compensation, so I'm just slightly going over my original stitch line, and then I'm at the top, hit enter. Right, and there's not a lot of difference between those two, but that is white and that is a silvery grey. Now I've done that on my receipt. Let's hit save, and I'm going to call this pencil case. So I'm going to call this school elements. Okay, EMB file. Right, I've saved it. So now, if I take my yellow I did first of all and bring it down, it's going to sit on top. Brilliant. So then I'm looking for a murky, a bit of a murky, so I think I'll use that one, 20, right? And again, bring it up nice and big. No, not you. Oh yeah. This tries close shape. Nice and big. Follow that semicircle all the way around till I get to a straight line. Come down with my straight line, across with my straight line, and you notice that I'm still, I could do just put one in there and then close it up. So I just covered over that little teeny bit of white, that side with the stitches, right? Then the next thing I want to do, this is so easy, the next thing I want to do, I'm going to use a darker colour. I did see one just now, that one, okay? And I am going to go, hang on, let me make it smaller so I can see where I'm starting. Yeah, so naught to get it in the centre. I'm just going to start, follow my curves around this. Oop, silly girl, should have put a straight one in. Alright, straight, curved, curve, straight. Straight, curved, 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 straight, straight, curved, 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 straight. And that should, I'll just put one in just before and say join up. Okay, now, so that's my overall cover. So I'm going to take that right back up to the top now, as if that's the first thing I did. Right, you see, Alice sequencing bar does so much for you. I'm just going to hit save before I lose it. Now, I don't mind the pencil case, the pencil sharpener itself being a bit of a rough go, yeah, like tatami, but I do want this is the metal blade that can stay rough as tatami, but I am going to change the shape of it. But meanwhile, I am going to take these elements, which is the white, the more silver, and the yellow, and the light aqua, and I am coming over to edit objects on the left here and remove overlaps. Right. Can you see what's happened here? I've now got really odd. I am good. Now, here's another trick for you when you're looking at things like this, because obviously I wanted it to cut a hole out of all that background. But I am now going to I'm going to click on all of them, and I'm going to come down to hide. Hide selected. Alright? So that's what it's left me with on that one. What's that one? That's that. Don't need that. Really don't need that. So I'm going to delete that. Don't need it. This one I am going to go and reshape. Could do. I'm going to leave it actually. Yeah, I've just changed the on that reshape. I've just changed the angle of the stitches. Okay, so I'm coming back over here now, and I'm going to unhide all, so we're all back together again. Alright, so you can see I've got a bit of a gap under there. The other thing I want to do is get hold of that yellow one and say remove overlaps on that yellow one as well, which you can't see, but if I'm undo that one, no, it's picking up undo this one, no, oh you little sod. Right, if I just go and hide that one then for a moment, yeah, you can see it's made a little hole behind it, so I can go and unhide that now. So that's back together. So I've taken away quite a bit of the underlaying stitches. Now I don't want this to be too heavy a stitch, so while I'm in tatami, there's something else we've not discussed. I am going to go I'm going to highlight that, and then I'm going to get a stitch in, and I'm going to say I don't want any underlay, no underlay. Okay, so that will have reduced the stitches as well. Then I'm going to come down to this one and say, well, I haven't finished with that one yet, let me just think. I'm going to come to this one, and I'm going to say to it, the fill effect on this I want is satin. Yeah, it's metallic. I want it to have a satin effect. That's quite nice actually. And then the white one next to it, also I want a satin effect. Yeah, that's good. Liking that too. The outside one, which I'm saying is a bit more plasticky, I'm going to leave, and the what is really represented as a screw, I am going to leave as well. Okay, so let me think. Let's come out of that. Let's go back to 100%. Now that's, yeah, no, oh, it's a bit smaller. 100%. That isn't too bad, is it? So I'm just going to save that. As a pencil sharpener, that's not too bad at all. Right, so as not to confuse the issue, I am now going to highlight everything there, yeah, copy it, yeah, go back to my pencil one, and over here I think I'm going to paste it. Oh no, it did paste it right in the middle. Now, yay. Now, that still to me is a bit big. Everything's a bit big. So from there to there, first off I'm going to right click it and group it, which means now it'll all move as one. I'm going to bring it down because I'm not sure where I want it yet. And I'm also going to take the corner, holding shift, and that's better. I'm just going to reduce it. So now if I click on it, what did that go down to? 1.5 by, oh no, sorry, 0.598, so 0.6 by 1, yeah? That's, to me, that's a much better size to work with at the moment. So now I've done that bit, I'm going to say, save that, like it. So now I'm saving my pencil case. Now I'm going back to my school elements, okay, and I am going into artwork, and I'm going to bring down something else. So what else do I want? I think we'll go, are children allowed to use calculators? I'm not sure. I think we'll go with a triangle. I'll open that up. Cool, that's big, isn't it? Right. So, this triangle, oh, there's lots and lots and lots of little lines down there. Obviously, we can't do all of those. But, and it does need to be quite big as against that one. So, I'm just going to look at that and say, well, okay, now we're going to bright yellow and a bit more muddy yellow, to be honest. And I'm going to look at my colours. Have I got more muddy yellow? Yeah, old gold. That's a bit more muddy yellow. So I'm going to go over to Digitize over here, Digitize a, ooh, it's got a hole in the middle, hasn't it? Yeah. This time we're going to have to use Digitize blocks to get around this. Now this is a new concept. Okay, so I'm clicking on Digitize blocks, alright. And I want to pick up that muddy yellow. Might be too dark, but we'll see, right? And bring it up nice and big. Now, this is the art of digitizing blocks. It is when you want to go around something, because obviously we need to leave that plain, leave that clear in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on one side, and then I'm going to come across to the inside and slightly down, because when I'm doing this, you see how it's putting a line across. That's an angle line, so that shows you this, that actually dictates the angle of the stitches as we're doing blocks. And I'm going from left to right, yeah. Or I'm going right to left, I should say. And now I'm going to have to start going way up. And hit enter. Okay, so can you see what I've done there? Then starting at the bottom again, I went too far. I want to come down as far as there. And then crossing over that line there. Hit enter. Alright? So I've used my blocks to make that shape with a hole in the middle. The next thing I can go and I can do my, let's go back up to the original set of colours. And I can use my nice little goldy one, and this time I don't need to digitize blocks, I can just digitize open shape. Okay, so I start there, go to there, go right to the top, down, and right back, and hit enter and it'll come back down. Didn't it? Why didn't it? Yeah, it did. I just couldn't see it. If I highlight that again, oh, it's outline, that's why. Right, so I want it as a fill. Undo. Back. Sorry. Undo. Right. Close shape. Right to the top. Down to that point. And enter it like that. Okay, so now that's done as a fill. Doesn't look a lot in difference of colour, but trust me, it is. Now we need to go and I really need to take this and go to reshape, because as you can see, when you've done blocks, it allows you then to just, oh, I didn't want to get bigger, to just reshape or re-angle. I don't want to reshape, what I want to do is re-angle my blocks, you see? So that's the orange ones. I am just slightly, oops, re-angling. That one. That one's alright. That one's alright. Let me get that out of the way a minute. Now I'm going to undo that. Just going to bring some of these. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's put me start back on where it should have been. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up the other side of the block and reshape. There's a couple here. Whoops. Pick up the other side of the block, reshape, yay, that's fair. I got rid of that awkward dimple there. Open I can, yeah. Yeah, that's so bad, do they? If I bring that, right, okay, that's brilliant. That's quite good. Quite happy with that. So back to select. So that's my protractor. Oh, sorry, my set square. And now obviously we need to go to, we'll save that a minute. Let's just save that. And now what I want to do is to go over to back to digitize, open shape. So these are just lines, and I want to go back to my original colours, and I want black, yay. And what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to go from there to there, okay, and hit enter. That's a black line, and I'm going to make it a triple, pick it up and make it a back stitch, so it's nice and thick, or thick-ish, okay. And then I'm going to just do, I should be, oh no, open shape. Right, we just need to do some lines. I mean, obviously this is just pretend, isn't it? So I'm just going to do one from there to there. Yeah, enter. Oops, I didn't hit enter. One from there to there, enter. One from there to there, enter. One from there to there, enter. Oops, too far. Make it bigger. Okay, and I'm going to put in some little ones. Because this is how, you know, a normal. Okay, right. We bring that out. That's not too bad. That's brilliant. So, but now what I'm going to do to make life easier, as we've done before, we're going to branch it. So we're going to take all of those elements from there, down the black elements from there, all the way to the bottom. Those are all the little lines I just did. I'm going to say group them, and then I'm going to come over here and I am going to go and hit branch in, and I am going to tell it to start, bring it up nice and big, start there and finish here. Okay, now you can see that all those lines have been branched into that little black thing there. Alright, is there anything else I need to do on that? I don't think so. I think that's good enough. It's only a representation, so I can pick up on the right hand side here all those elements now, right click them, I'm going to group them, yeah, and I'm also then going to copy them, go back to my pencil case, and I am going to paste. There it is. Oh, and it's much too big. Doesn't matter. Remember, when you're working in EMB files, the program will work it out for you. So at the moment, that element is reporting at 14,463 stitches. Okay, now holding down shift, I am going to make that, not too small, make that an awful lot smaller. That's a better size. Now my stitch count is half the stitch count, because that's what the program will do. You can't do this when you bought a file set in stone, well, more or less. But is that too big? Maybe that's too big. Just a little bit more. Right. So now we're 6,800 stitches. Now I'm happy to plonk that. And artistic license now, I am going to go and rotate it a bit. And I'm going to say, well, actually, I want you to be there. Alright, save that. Right, back to my school elements page where I'm bringing things in. Work again this time, back up to where I'm picking up my ideas from for the moment. Now we need some sort of, I don't think she'd be writing with a pen, but I do think she's going to want a pencil. I'm going to open that one up. Okay, don't want you there. Let me just move my undo. Let me just move my pencil over. Right, that's my picture of a pencil. And I'm going to make it nice and big so I can see it. And whoa. Yep, so I am going to do this quite it's got quite a few elements to it. Okay, so I'm going to pick up, I'm going to go with the flow and pick up a purple. Little ones like purple, don't they? So I am just for this moment doing a closed shape on, and I'm just going to do it the same, just do it as it is. I'm not going to do the elements. Ooh, not as sharp as I wanted it. So let's go. I am going to have to bring it up nice and big and do curves. Actually, around. Oof! How dare you? Right. Oh, and then what we're doing? Oh yeah. Forget that what we're doing. We're going back and we're going to hit enter, so that meets up. Well, I happen to have done it in a black stitch. That's no problem. Go and highlight it and say, well, I want it in that sort of like, all right, what did I say? We're going to do it in that purple colour. Purple, yeah. And I want it a fill. Okay. We'll come back to how we want the fill in a minute. Now, the next thing I'm going to do when I'm down the bottom is I got a bit of grey that I want to do across here. So, no, not you, close shape. I just want to do that grey line. Right, just that grey. And then I also want to pick up a nice little bit of pink, light pink, as a rubber. You know, lighter pink. Yeah, pink. And I'll just go from there to there and follow it around. Yeah, so I got the pink rubber on the end now. So no matter what it is at the minute, just it's on there. Okie dokie. Now with the I'm looking for a beigey sort of grey, sort of lightly pink one. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I am just going to now you might think, well, you're not really following this. No, I'm not. Okay, I'll tell you for why in a minute. The next thing I want to do is a bit of black, yeah. So, Digitize close shape, bit of black, so it's a nice, strong black. Right, okay, so there's the pencil finished. However, first off, I want that wood effect to be above the pencil. That's the first thing that's going to go down. So now you see how my nice little lines will come back into play. I think I'll leave the black as the last bit actually, or shall I not? Shall I put the black up before the pink? How does that look? Oh, it looks better like that, doesn't it? Yeah, okay, right. These bits don't really matter. So there's a pencil. Now, what I'm going to do, just for art's sake, now, is I'm going to leave that looking as it is, but this, I can either change the angle or I could change it to something embossed. Not that big, crikey Moses, just something more pencil-y like. That one. Yeah, that looks more like a pencil, doesn't it? Yeah, I like that. And that rubber one, I think we will say that that can be satin because that makes it more like a rubber. Okay, so let me just bring that up nice and big for you again now over here. So I've just turned that into my pencil. I've just grouped them all. I am going to group, okay, and then I am going to copy, and I'm going to go back over to our pencil case and paste. God knows where it went. Righty-ho. So the last element I've done was a little paper clip, which I've just literally done in a satin stitch and straightened it out the best I could, but it's representative of a paper clip. Okay. Now I want to do some on the above what will be the zip. I want to do a child's name, whoever it may be. So that's going to be, I think, in the next part, because I'm going to just go and review this and see how far we got, how far along the timeline that we've got. Okay.